Hello friends, in this session we are going to learn SonarQube Prerequisites. So let's go. So here we are breakdowns of requirements in two parts. Here we have to prerequisite for that SonarQube, two parts like hardware prerequisites and software prerequisites. So let's see here. Start with hardware prerequisites. So here in that hardware prerequisite, CPU, in this CPU, requirements can vary based on the size and complexity of your code base. Okay, so it means what? For smaller projects, you can use multi-core processor should be sufficient, or large project with more code may be required a more powerful CPU. For that, use CPU. Okay. Next, memory. In that memory means RAM, random access memory we can use here. And here SonarQube memory requirement depends on the size of code base you are analyzing. Okay. So it means what? If you are using the small project, that time you have to like that less than 1 lakh lines of codes. That time you can use here work with the around 2 GB of RAM. Okay. If you are use medium size project like 1 lakh to 5 lakh lines of codes, it needs to 4 GB RAM or more. Okay. And if use here large project, that time you can use means over the 5 about the 5 lakh lines of codes may be required 8 GB or more. It's use memory. Okay. Then after that, disk space. In that disk space, you will need disk space for SonarQube installation and database. It means that the exact space required depends on the code base size means, but you should plan for minimum of 10 GB for SonarQube and additional space for database. After that, networks. So here a stable and reasonably fast network connection is required. In that, especially if multiple users will access the SonarQube server simultaneously, that times we can use here networks. So in the Elasticsearch, in that Elasticsearch for SonarQube performance involves version compatibility, hardware resources, cluster configuration, indexing, and search optimization, monitoring and maintenance, security measures, upgrades, and configuration settings. So here in that Elasticsearch, so we can see here step by step like version compatibility. In that version compatibility, we can ensure the version of the Elasticsearch for your using compatible with your SonarQube version to avoid the compatibility issues and ensure the smooth operation. For that, we have to use version compatibility. Okay. After that, see here hardware resource, and in that hardware resource you can allocate the sufficient resource to Elasticsearch, including memory like RAM for storage, prefer SSD and CPU cores like that. And Elasticsearch benefits from having adequate resource for its operation. Okay. So in the this is hardware resource, and here cluster configuration. In that cluster configuration, configure Elasticsearch in cluster steps for scalability and high availability. This is plan the number of nodes and shards based on your workloads and data volume to distribute the load effectively. After that, indexing and search optimization. In that, the tune Elasticsearch settings related to index such as replicas, refresh intervals, and merge settings like that to balance between the indexing speed and search performance. Configure mapping and analyzing the best on your data and search needs. Okay, this is your indexing and search optimization. In that monitoring maintenance, set up the monitoring tools to track Elasticsearch performance metrics. Means regularly performs maintenance tasks to like index optimization and share management to cluster and checks the to ensure the efficient operations. After that, see security measures. In that security measures, implements the security measures such as authentication, encryption, like that, and control to Elasticsearch endpoints and data. This is security measures. And last one, upgrades the configuration settings. This is stays the updated with the latest Elastic versions like apps patch and fine-tune Elasticsearch configuration settings. For example, thread pools and caching based on system resources and workloads. These are the hardware prerequisites. Okay, now let's see here next software prerequisite. Okay, so in that software prerequisite, we can see here operating system, Java, SonarQube server, then SonarQube scanner, like that. So many prerequisite here. So let's see one by one. Operating system. SonarQube can be installed on various operating system. Everyone knows that, and including like Windows, Linux, Mac OS, like that. Okay, so make sure your chosen operating system is supported by the version of SonarQube you plan to use. Okay, so next, Java. You have to must install Java on machine where you plan to run SonarQube. SonarQube supports required a Java 11 or higher its version. Okay, so after that, let's see SonarQube server. In that SonarQube server, Java version 17 is required for the SonarQube server. Okay, so using Java 17 is advised to get the best performance and compatibility with the SonarQube ecosystem. The Java 11 is deprecated for your Sonar scanner and runtime environments. So it's recommended to avoid using it. Java 11. Okay, so prefer for the SonarQube server for Java version 17. Okay, after that, Sonar scanner. Sonar scanner, this is a minimum recommended version for Sonar scanner. It's also Java 17. Okay, so let's see next, database. So in that software prerequisite, in that database, we can see here SonarQube relies on database to store its configuration and analysis data. So which database we can prefer here? You can choose any one of them. Okay, so PostgreSQL, Microsoft SQL Server, and Oracle. These three database you have, and you can choose one of them. Okay, so here PostgreSQL, you can use PostgreSQL version 11 or higher. Okay, so any version you can use 11 or higher version PostgreSQL of that. After that, Microsoft SQL Server. In that you can use Microsoft SQL version like 2014, 2016, 2017, 2019 or 2022. Any version you can use here: 14, 16, 17, 19 and 22. Okay, these are the version of the Microsoft SQL Server. After that, in that Oracle, you can use version of the Oracle is these are you can choose one of them from 21C, 19C or XC edition. Okay. So these are the version of that Oracle. So here next software prerequisite database drivers. So here ensure you have the appropriate JDBC drivers for the database you can choose here. So it means that you can use here database driver. So SonarQube doesn't come bundled with the drivers, so you need to download and configure them separately. Okay. So after that, web browsers. Okay. See here in that web browsers, you will need a modern web browser. For example, Chrome, Firefox, Safari, Microsoft Edge to access the SonarQube web interface. Okay, so from these web browsers you can use here for accessing SonarQube. After that, next one, network configuration. So here, ensure the necessary network configuration and firewall rules are set up to allow access to the SonarQube server, especially if it will be accessed by multiple team members. Okay, so these are the software prerequisites. Now let's see here next platform nodes for running SonarQube. So here we can use here some platform nodes. Okay, so like Linux, first one Linux, we can see here checking the current values. So for the use checking the current values, you can use these commands. You have to use here system vm.max map count. Okay, so you can use the checking the current values from using this command systemctl fs max file max. Okay, you limit hyphen n, you limit hyphen u. These are the checking the current values. Okay, after that, if you have to set the values dynamically for the current session as root, then same commands you have to use and give the specific number like that. Okay, so same commands here we are use systemctl -w vm max map count equal to, we have to give the value here 52 42 88 like that. Okay, after that, next systemctl -w fs dot max file max 1310 72 like that. You have to set this dynamically value session. Okay, so here you limit hyphen n, give the value, and you limit hyphen u, give the value here. Next, here we have to setting values more permanently. So if you have to use more permanently through this path, like update etc system ctl.d and 99 hyphen sonarcube dot configuration, this part you have to set this command. Okay, and another way you can set this under this limit dot config. Okay, configuration, here you have to set this command. After that, next, if you are using the systemmd for SonarQube, then you have to update this this unit file for the SonarQube to include the limits. And here we have to use here service. In that service we have to choose the limit no files and give the value, and limit n proc, give the value. Okay, so this is the platform notes for the Linux. Okay, after that, see here, second platform notes is seccomp filter. Okay, so what is meant by seccoms? Seccoms means secure computing modes. Okay, so this use of the seccoms filter in Elasticsearch and necessary configuration related to these security features when running the SonarQube. So these are the steps for the and information for regarding the seccoms uses with the Elasticsearch in SonarQube. So here checking if seccoms is available on the kernel. In that, how we can check this? You can check the if seccoms is available on your kernel using the following commands, like this command grep seccoms, and in that boot config $uname -r. So here we can check. Okay, and if your kernel support the seccoms, the output should be contains lines indicating support for the seccom filters and seccoms. So this command you have to use here. Okay, next, after that, last one, you have to, if you have to configure the distribution with the seccoms or deactivate seccoms, then to deactivate seccoms for Elasticsearch in SonarQube, update the sonar.search.java additional ops property in the sonar.properties file. Then you have to use here this command, sonar.search java additional ops equal to -d bootstrap.system -call filter false. Okay, so after that, next one, this is the second platform notes for the seccom filters. Okay, next one, third platform notes for font in SonarQube. So font, this is supports in the SonarQube. The component required for font supports in SonarQube on Linux server. Then here we have to use font config. Font config, it's a font configuration and customization system for the Linux, essential for managing the font settings, providing the font matching, and enabling the font customization across the various applications. Here we can use two ways for use which operating system you have to use here. If you are to use the Debian or Ubuntu based system, then you can use the sudo apt-get install font config. Okay, if you are use Red Hat system based like CentOS or Fedora, then you have to use sudo yum install font config. Okay, so this is the font config. And next one, free type fonts like libfree type 6. So here see, free type is a font rendering engine used by various applications to accurately render fonts in different formats. So here again you have to use which operating system you have to use here. That this command you have to use, like Debian or Ubuntu based operating system here you are use, then you have to use libfree type 6. So this command is sudo apt-get install libfree type 6. Okay, if you are use Red Hat based system like CentOS or Fedora, then you are use free type, means command use sudo yum install free type. Okay, this is the free type 6 or free type package, include the necessary components and libraries required for the rendering fonts using free type. So this is our SonarQube Prerequisite. So today's session we will learn SonarQube Prerequisite. In that we will see two types of the prerequisite: hardware prerequisite and software prerequisite, and also we will learn platform nodes for the SonarQube. Okay, so thank you for the watching video.